Hey guys, this is Way from ShiGig coming at you. This time we got Dark Dragon Phantom Blaster Diablo. We finally got its full effects. I haven't made a video on him, mostly due to the fact that we did get to sneak at his effects, and I didn't want to put him up until we actually got the full effects, so that way we know whether or not he's going to be good. Maybe they changed something, so we finally got its effects. I know this guy's been out for a little bit. I was actually sick for a week, so I couldn't really make any videos, and I had finals the week I was sick, so I was pretty much over my computer, coughing, wheezing, practically dying trying to get my finals done, but so I can finally get the video out for you guys now, and also to talk about it after some playtesting I've done with it. Sorry about my voice, or if I start coughing or anything. I'm already sniffling because I'm still recovering from my cold, but it's a little bit better now. Alright, so of course he's a stride unit that comes in the deck. His effect is once per turn, count +1, choose a face down card named Dark Dragon Phantom Blaster Diablo from your G zone and turn it face up. If the number of face up cards in your G zone is 2 or more until the end of turn, this unit gets power plus 10,000 and crit plus an extra critical. And also gains the skill Auto Vanguard. Choose 3 of your rear guards and retire them. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent may choose 2 of his rear guards and retires them. If he or she does not retire 2 rear guards until the end of that battle, your opponent cannot call cards from hand to Guardian Circle. So it's kind of similar to like Transcore, where if your opponent did not discard a card, your opponent cannot guard and gain a crit. But this one, he has to retire 2 units. You do retire 3, but that's not too hard with Charon, and because Charon counts as 2. As for it is your probably your second stride. I'll get more in depth into combos and stuff with him when I talk about Blaster Diablo in the same video. So I will be covering this in the same video. Cool thing is his first part of his effect, if they get the 10k in the crit, you can use that first turn if you don't have a G unit or whatever. Like if you just had him, you can still use that. But he is kind of scary, but he's not very scary. Some decks that don't really play a lot of rear guards or stuff like that will probably have problems with him, but those who can like get spam rear guards pretty easily will be able to get him out. They'll be able to get that retired too. Because unfortunately there's not that much retiring you can really do with Shadow Paladin, so it's going to be a little bit harder. You can play Blaster Dark Revenger and Blaster Dark Revenger Abyss to try and retire an opponent's unit, but it's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be a lot harder to try and get them down to just 2 or less rear guards. So that's kind of one thing you have to watch out, is to try and watch when you should play this. Maybe you should play more aggressive if your opponent doesn't have the hand to put rear guards. Maybe play a little bit aggressive to get them out. So I'll talk about Blaster Diablo now, and then I'll go back and talk about more about stuff you can do to combo them together. So first off is its Genesis Break 2 effect. While you are paying a cost for stride, if it's unit with Blaster and its card name with stride, cards in your hand get grade +3. So that means you can stride with grade 0s. That's pretty good. But it's really restricted because you have to have that means it could only right now work for Dark Dragon Phantom Blaster Diablo. Only work for him right now. Maybe in set 3 we'll get some like another stride unit with Blaster. If we do, then Genesis Break 2 would be a little bit better. Until then, it's kind of not the best, but it's still pretty decent for late game if you don't have those grade 3s, and since the deck does not have any stride fodder units for grade 1s. His second effect again is very restricted. During your turn, when your unit named Dark Dragon Phantom Blaster Diablo stride, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. You get a free retire, but it's very restricted to Dark Dragon Phantom Blaster Diablo. Again, back to this guy, it's restricted to him. So that means if you try and stride into something else, you won't get that extra retire. So you're going to have to either attack rear guard, try and whittle down the rear guards again with that. If your opponent has like 3 rear guards or like 2 already set up for it, you can stride, get rid of it with effect, and force your opponent to either not be able to guard because they don't have enough rear guards. So that forces them to make sure they have at least 3 rear guards. If they know you're not playing like any cards in the deck to retire besides him, besides Diablo, Blaster Dark Diablo. to retire, because if they have two rear guards, you can retire one of them, then they can't pay the cost. One way to get past the Generation Break 2 effects, so that way, since you don't have any Stride Father Ditcher cards, one way to get past it is the first Stride unit is to go into Blizza, so you can flip a card face up, so that way you're already at Generation Break 2 then. That's one way to get past it. It kind of sucks because you do give up a Blizza to use for late game. And since you're not Counter Blasting too much, Blizza would be pretty nice. You might have to run like 2 Blizz in your deck. First time you can stride to Blizza, get to Generation Break 2, then you can start using grade 0s and whatever in your hand that you need to use to stride. So that way you can stride into Dark Dragon, Phantom Blaster, Diablo. So that way you can get into them faster if you just can't like stride into so that way, if you don't have like another grade 3 or have like 2 grade 3s in hand, so you can stride twice without having to worry. That's one thing, unless they come out with another card effect that flips a card face up, like how Mustafa is for Kagura, and they do that. If we get something like that for Shadow Paladin, then you probably want to use that instead of Blizza. That's one way to get past that, to get Generation 2 so you can start abusing Blaster Dark. Hopefully we do see some kind of Blaster effect, or maybe something that takes his name, Dark Dragon, Phantom Blaster, Diablo, so that way we can at least get that retire. Because without that retire, we're gonna need to find something else to try and weigh down opponent's rear guards. So without that, the effect, it's kind of like not very good. I know a lot of people are like saying since they saw this, it was too broken. Like, it's not very broken. It is kind of scary. It does cause a lot of pressure, but it's not broken. It's just it's easy to get out of as long as your opponent leaves like at least 3 rear guards, and you can't retire more than 2 of them. Like, because you can retire 1 with him if you have the Blaster Dark with your Vanguard, so I'll leave him with 2 and they still can pay the cost. Or because his effect activates when you attack, so you can sack the unit that you're boosting, so that gives him a little bit more power boost. But you can't really go and you can try and like attack his rear guards. Like, you can use Blaster or Dark Diablo to retire 1 in the back row, and then use your rear guards to attack the front row ones to try and get rid of them if you can. Like, if they had 3 and you use Diablo to get the other one, then you attack the front row. That could be one way to get rid of it. But this effect here is not too scary because the deck doesn't retire as much as you want it to do, because he only activates that. And if you do go ahead and use him twice, you can only like use the maximum twice to get his effect off. So you're only gonna be able to get like 2 retires, and that's the most you're gonna get by Dark Diablo's effect. So we have to either get some way to abuse the Generation Break 2 effect, like with another G unit. Other than that, Diablo may not be the best, really, because of the fact that he's really restricted in his effects. He's not the best Stride Break unit as the other ones. I mean, Thavis is another one that has a retire effect, but it targets 3. You choose 3, and your opponent retires 1 of those. And you just have to be a 4th attack. I mean, you can get that off with any kind of G unit you stride. It's not restricted to the specific stride unit like this one is, like Blaster Dark Diablo is. And it's not restricted for his other effect to have the G unit you stride to be Blaster. So we're really gonna need to have like a lot of stride units with stride. I mean, with Blaster in its name. Without that, Blaster Dark Diablo, I can see him hitting the bench pretty quickly. Because I can see this guy going into just a regular Abyss deck. Because you do have Blaster Dark Revenger Abyss that can retire back row, so you can just do that, and that's more consistent than this. Even though it's still a Counterblast 1, it's still more consistent than having to have him to only retire 1, where you can go just try into this guy. Say you had like 3 open Counterblasts and you had 2 front row open, just call 2 Abyss, just retire 2 back rows if they were trying to use those. And then you can attack and you can deal with that. That's kind of the thing, is we have to see what set 3 gives us. If set 3 gives us really good support, then we'll probably see more of him play, or might see more Abyss decks. Because I can see Abyss more abuse this than Blaster Dark Diablo abusing it more. This being said, so we signing out. Excuse me for coughing during the video, but remember to like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.